So what we have here is a pressure switch that you can see right here. It's that round disc. It's normally open, so it has two switches on the top. And what's happening is with the series of events, it's not getting past this pressure switch here. So in other words, inducer fan motor turns on first. It's got this proving tube here. It's a tube, so it pulls a vacuum and it closes a switch, and it's not closing the switch. And I'll show you how to check that. So you'll get your meter right here, and you can put it on voltage AC. You should be able to see it. Just like so. We have 0 volts there. So what we're going to do is we're going to check while the wires are connected. And you can just pull the wires out a little bit. And you can see right there. So we have 27 volts. I'm touching both ends, male fittings on this pressure switch. Inducer fan motor is on. If we're reading a voltage, that means it's not closed. So it should be reading 0 or 0.3, something like that. Which means that this pressure switch is not closing for some reason. So we're going to test that with a Magnehelic, in which Jim will show you right here. So I'm going to hook that up right now, and we'll bring you right back. So what we want to do right now is we've got our Magnehelic, and we want to make sure we're getting a reading. So I've got it on the negative pressure side. So I'm just going to hook up this tube right on top. So what we're doing is making sure that the inducer fan motor is pulling correctly. So there it is. So we're pulling almost 1-inch water column. And this pressure switch right here, up here, is a 0.4. So we know that right now that the inducer fan motor is not the problem. Okay, so you can check it through a Magnehelic. Another way, another thing you can do is, once it's started, the inducer, you can jump these two together once this starts, and if it goes through the sequence of events, so in other words, if you get a fire, which is up here, you get your flame, your pilot going, your fire, then you know this right here, this inducer motor is the problem. So we're going to take this thing off right now. And we're going to put another one. We've got another one right here, and it's a universal. And I've already set this one up. It comes with some springs. Let me show you. This is the ESP. So in other words, external static pressure, right? It's a universal air switch. Comes with directions. Comes with a tool. And it comes with springs. Like this here. Little springs. So these springs in the instruction give a certain resistance for a low inch water column, like 0.1, and you select the spring to the amount of water column that you need. And so I selected the spring that did up to 0.4. And the reason is because this one here, I believe it's it is a point, this one here is 0.6. Right here, 0.6 inch water column. You see that? So 0.4, this one is 0.4, this spring is 0.4 to 1. So it's got 2 sets here, normally open, normally closed, and we're going to connect to the normally open, because this closes as soon as we receive a negative pressure. And we're going to select this one right here, because when you suck, you can hear it close. When you blow, it closes the normally closed and then opens. But we want a normally open that closes. So we're going to select this side here. So in other words, we're going to hook it up like so. So, very straightforward. Just like that. You can go from there. That's not going to work, is it? Nope. Okay, so I had to spin this around. On these universal pressure switches, you can use either side for the bracket. I had to spin this one around so that way it'll sit with the ports facing down. Get it? Did you show it in there? Okay. That's it. Oh, that's the wrong one. Actually, longer than that. So, alright, so I'm going to show you here. We're going to put our meter on ohms or resistance. Remember, switch closed, we get a reading. Open load. So right now we should have an open load here, but when we apply pressure, it should close it. The right one. Close it. Maybe it's this one. Okay, so we have it closed, and then we open. Is it this one? Okay. Normally open, it should close. There it is, right there. Hold on one second. Alright, here we go. So we have our pressure switch hooked up to our inducer, our new pressure switch. So we're going to check that it's closed. Watch that meter. It's closed. See? So if the inducer fan motor turns off, should be open. It's open, see? Open. If you close it, it's closed. So we're going to mount this guy. Actually, we're going to hook this up first. Let's see what happens. apply heat. There it is. Now the sequence of operation. Privy switch is working. Valve opened. The amber light tells us we have a flame, which is pretty obvious. Awesome. So let's mount this thing up and fire it up again. There's our blower motor. It's off. Off. Heat. Let's watch the sequence of operation. Inducer fan motor. Sends voltage, this board sends voltage pressure switch. Should close. So now we have pressure. Once it recognizes that, it's going to close a relay back here. It's going to send voltage to our hot surface igniter. And once that is glowing for about 15 to 30 seconds, this gas valve right here, 24 volts, will click. So there it is. What do you think, Jim? Okay, now our blower will kick on. Just like it's supposed to, right there. Go ahead and shut it off, Ethan. Okay. So now this whole thing will cycle down and everything should shut off at the end. So we're going to change this filter right here, right now. And then we'll call it done. Doing it wrong. I think I'm doing it wrong. Sometimes we just do things wrong. And we gotta make it right. You know? We need to check underneath, and we need to see if I pulled that drain line out from the floor. So we'll check that right now. Oh, we gotta do this now. All right, 5 seconds. Yep, that would be a big problem. I'm glad I thought about that. So we'll get some glue, close that back up. It's important when you're gluing PVC that you hold it in a position for 30 seconds. You hold it for 30 seconds until it sets. Sometimes 15 seconds is 30. And then let go. And that held. That's right, buddy. Let's make as much noise as we can. Come on, somebody. Hey guys, I just wanted to show that to you. The message. Come on now. This verse is in Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3:12. That image that I just showed you. I want you to read this. And I want to see if you can connect the dots. Proverbs 3:12. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects, just as a father the son in whom he delights. There's 2 points to this thing, to this verse. A lot of us never experienced a father on earth, and that's the problem. Some of us had a father and never experienced the love of a father. And we're not talking about just any love. We're talking about a love that is in the mirror image of God, who loves everyone. But he also corrects those whom he loves. So the same is with our Father. I showed you an image earlier of a shop with wigs and colors and everything you could think of that's dark. fantasy driven. Why do people go there? Because they never experienced the love of God. Why do people go there? Do women go there? Unfortunately, because the one they're with, the spouse, the male, never had a loving father on earth. True loving father that instilled values. My friends, what's missing in this world today is exactly the motive of the God of this world. And that is to take out the family and the fathers of the family, to take away the love of God from the fathers of a family. And I'm telling you, some of us had fathers that didn't know how to love. Forgive them right now and be set free. And at the same time, the correction comes by a father, not to hurt the child, but so that way they'll go in a direction that doesn't lead to fantasies and becoming someone they're not, trying to find an identity that they will never find through the perversion of this world. Thought about that as I was driving through here. And it's a good time to teach your children the same. Right, Ethan?
Yes, sir.
Hey, if you like this content, like and subscribe. Let's do this. HVAC in life made simple. Air conditioning in life. I hope you liked the video. Very simple, but maybe you can use it, right? Until the next time.